He asked me what I wanted, and I just sat there because I've been so busy trying to figure out how it would happen that I never stopped to actually say what I wanted to happen.
Wake up, it's time to activate. Wake up, it's time to activate. You know there is more that God has in store. You've been so used to hiding and used to inviting the fear, guilt, and doubting that keeps you from thriving. But wake up, it's time to activate it. Wake up, it's time to activate it. Activate your destiny. Time to activate it.
Welcome to Activate Your Destiny. I am Destiny McCoy, and I show up every Wednesday to remind you that the call on your life is not canceled. It is just waiting for your obedience. Now, let's go ahead and get activated. A few weeks ago, I had to take a step back from everything, from social media, from recording, from showing up completely because I needed a break. I needed a moment. I needed to sit down with God and really have some heart to heart conversations about my assignment, to get reconnected, refocused on what the vision was, and to figure out who I was as a person, as Destiny. And I had to have some really tough conversations with some people. I had some tough conversations with myself. One of them being that I am struggling to articulate to God the vision that I have for what He has called me to. Why am I having such a hard time with that? So I was having a moment one day and I was talking to one of my friends. And even though God had already told me to write down what it is that I wanted, like I said, I was feeling very uncomfortable about that. So I hadn't done it yet. But I was talking to her and she randomly says, "Well, what do you want? Have you ever thought about just writing down what you want out of life? Have you ever thought about that?" And I was like, yeah. So since you're actually just confirming what I've already been told to do, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I grabbed my journal and I'm writing things down, and God is telling me to write down every single detail. Not only what I want for business, not only what I want in the things that impact my family. What is it that Destiny wants? And I started being specific. I want my hair done every 2 weeks. I want to keep my nails done. I want to get back into the gym. Every single detail from trivial things like my hair and nails to really the magnitude of the vision that He has placed within me for this podcast, for mom school, and more, right? But as I am writing these things down, I am internally struggling with the thought that this feels too far out of reach. Have you ever felt like that? Where the desires of your heart feel like they're too big for you to achieve, or you can't even fathom how they're going to happen in the first place? I was so focused at one moment on my doubts of how it was going to happen that I almost stopped writing the list. But I felt like I kept saying, just keep going. And I had to remind myself, all I'm doing is writing it down. Not only am I just writing it down, I am writing it down as obedience to what God is telling me to do. So clearly, there's something in this that's bigger than me, something that is more than I can figure out myself. But that's the kind of God that we serve, a God that can do exceedingly and abundantly above all that we may ask or think. If I can't think of a way that this is going to happen, that doesn't mean that it's never going to happen. Hey, before we get any further into today's episode, I want to make sure that you know where to go if what you are hearing is already speaking to something within you. I created a Start Here page specifically for the mom who knows that she is ready for the next step, but is not sure what that step looks like just yet. Whether you are looking for community and coaching, or you want to bring this experience to your women's group or organization, it is all there waiting for you. Go to the link in the description and start where you are, not where you think you should be, where you are. So I had to keep writing. I had to keep writing. And 3, 4 pages later, I felt better. Weirdly enough, even though I still have no idea how these things are going to happen, I still have no clue where the finances are going to come from to be able to achieve these things. But I felt lighter because I was no longer carrying the stress, the worries, and trying to strategize to make sure that I grab a hold of these things that I feel like God wants for me and things that I want for myself. And it got me thinking as I prepared for this week's episode and talking about rediscovering myself. I fully believe that if you are listening to this episode, you have struggled with this too. There has been a moment where we were supposed to write down, the vision board or write down those things in the beginning of the year that we really wanted to achieve. However, it gets difficult because then we start doubting. We start having fear creeping, like, I don't know if I can do it. I'm not sure if I'm capable or if I have the capacity of even doing the first step to achieve this right now. I'm not sure if um, God even wants me to do it anymore. I feel like that's the thing too. We feel like we may have missed the mark because we didn't do it the first time, but we serve a merciful God. We serve a merciful God. So even if that is you and you feel like, okay, I do know exactly what it is that I want and I have written it down, but I feel like I've missed the period where God wanted me to do it, there's still time. The fact that you woke up this morning means that you still have a chance to get started. I feel like moms also are feeling guilty or selfish for wanting more. It's like, especially in church culture, we are told to, be grateful, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. We are supposed to be grateful because God has done a whole lot for us. But being grateful does not diminish your desire for more. It shouldn't diminish your desire for more. There's nothing wrong with you being grateful for what God has done for you already, being a good steward over that. That's also how you can be grateful, but then desiring more. God said that He will give us the desires of our heart. And not only that, the closer that you get to God, the closer your desires align with what it is that He wants for you. So if He wants His people to achieve things, if He wants His people to be financially secure, why would we only settle for where we are at the moment? Why would He not help us while He sees that we are taking the steps forward? The other thing is fear. Once you say out loud what it is that you want, it is out there. It's in the atmosphere. Whoever you told it to can now hold you accountable. And that sometimes keeps us from admitting what it is that we want. But guess what? Accountability is not a bad thing. Accountability actually helps you because now you are not walking this out alone. Once you open your mouth and say, even if it's the tiniest step, I want to do this, whoever the trusted person is that you shared that with should be able to push you to get it done. That's why your circle matters. But sitting in fear does not get you any closer. So you might as well at least take a little step towards what it is that you desire for your life. The big thing that I also feel like we struggle with is finances. We are in such a uncertain time in our world, in our society right now, where food and gas prices are astronomical. They're pretty insane. It is concerning to say the least, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom, especially if you are an entrepreneur. I mean, even if you have a career, all of these things feel very uncertain right now. But what I do know is that we serve a God who is going to take care of His people. Bible says if He dresses the lilies, how much more would He take care of His people? So even relinquishing some of that fear that we're holding on, I don't want to take this step. I don't want to reach out to that person. I don't want to buy this particular equipment that I know that I need. I don't want to invest in this because I don't know where it's coming from. If I spend it, is a real life concern. So I'm not saying that we shouldn't be concerned about it, but I am saying that I'm a witness that once you step out on faith, if God is telling you to do something, if He's telling you to do something, not if you feel like you have to have it all perfect and you're just buying stuff because you want it to be perfect. But if you know that God is saying, buy that course, hire that coach, invest in that class, go to that gym, purchase that membership. Whatever it is that he's telling you to do, he will replenish it. Sometimes he's just waiting on us to step out on faith. And sometimes that one seed that we have planted opens the door or opens a relationship, opens whatever it is that you need next. God is going to show us every step of the way. Not all at once, but he will guide us step by step by step. And our obedience in the first step leads to the next one and the one after that and the one after that. But all of these so far, I struggled with while I was writing my own list, especially the finances one. How in the world am I going to be able to afford this vision? How am I going to be able to afford the next part of this, which is the magnitude of the desire? For some of us, God has given us dreams that are so massive that if you actually said out loud what He has given you, people would think you were crazy. People would think you were crazy. Those who are not assigned to you would think you were crazy. But I know that it didn't just come out of nowhere. I know that the desires He has given me for the people that He has called me to, for the assignment that I am in charge of, He has to be the one that provides. You know how we say if it's God's will, it's God's bill? He has to be the one that brings all of that to fruition. We can't do it. All we can do is obey. But it is so important that you acknowledge how big it is, not diminish it, because we serve a God that has all the power. He's in control of everything. So there's nothing too hard for him and there's nothing too big for him. All we have to be responsible for is naming it and taking those steps. Now, once we have gotten through the fear, the selfishness for wanting more, the financial concerns, the shrinking to try to fit in with everybody else or to try to feel more comfortable, Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision and make it plain. And I believe that is why God had me literally write it down. Now, y'all know we are so far removed from having to write things down that sometimes writing literally makes my hand hurt. So 4 pages later, my hand was like, bruh, do you have anything else to put on this paper? But I wanted to be not only obedient, but intentional that every single thought that came to mind, every single aspect of my life that I was specific about, that I already had desires for, that I wrote it down. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision and make it plain, specific. God is a specific God, not just, I want to own a business. Okay. I want to run a community. I want to, I don't know, hire a chef. Like literally, whatever it is, be specific. Be specific. The timeline, the details, the vision that He has given you, write it all down. He did not say keep it in your heart. He said keep His word in your heart. He said that we had to keep His word in our heart that we might not sin against Him. But He did not say that our vision we had to keep in our heart only. He said to write it down. Write the vision and make it plain. Stop hiding it. Stop acting like it's not within you. Write it down. The next thing is so, so important. Admiring what you want is not the same as pursuing it. Admiring what you want is not the same as pursuing it. You still have to do something. Once you get it out of your head, once you write it down, okay, now what? What are you going to do now? What step are you going to take so that you can make sure you are in alignment with God when He is ready to open those doors for you? We know that faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. And the majority of that list, you're probably going to be like, I don't see how this is going to happen. But the Bible also says that faith without works is dead. Faith without works, you still have to do something. We can't just ask for things to fall out of the sky. God obviously sends miracles, signs, and wonders. He does things that we sometimes don't even ask for. But when it comes to this, we have to take steps. There is growth involved, there is faith involved. Faith involves steps. If you have faith in something, you most likely are going to have to do something. Admiring what you want is not the same as pursuing it. So you still have to go after it. You still have to pursue it. You still have to seek God for what it is that He wants you to do. And when He gives you an instruction, you still have to do it. This week of rediscovering me has been so crucial to this new year of my life, because there were things that I didn't realize I actually desired, things that I didn't realize that I was still suppressing, because the magnitude of it not only requires me to show up differently, but it requires me to have a whole lot more faith in God. It requires me to take bolder steps. But it wasn't until I sat down and wrote all of this down and had these moments with God that I could really rediscover who I am in this season. Who I was a month ago was not the same person that I am before you today. Who I was a year ago is definitely not the same person that I am today. I am rediscovering me in every single season. Every time I feel another shifting, every single time I feel like He's calling me to do something else, there is something within me that also has to adjust. The same way we adjust routines and rhythms when the seasons change, is the same thing that God does within us. So we always have to make sure we are tapping back in and rediscovering who He has created us to be right now. So your assignment for this week is to write down your vision tonight. Don't wait. When you watch this video, make 10-15 minutes in your schedule tonight in silence, away from the distractions, and write it down. Not a list of your goals, not a vision board. Write down what your desires are and take them before God. Don't just write them down and then get up and walk away. Sit there and let God speak to you. Let Him highlight the things that He wants to do for you now. Let Him start to give you the steps that are required for you to achieve these things. In my own list, what I noticed is that some of those things are not going to be achieved if I just sit here. Some of these things are not going to be accessible if I don't do my part. So allow Him to speak to you, to speak through you, and don't run from it. Don't worry about what you can and cannot afford at this moment. Don't worry about what your family would approve of. Don't worry about what your friends might think. What do you want? And take it to God. Let Him show you what is in His will. Let Him show you what is in alignment with the desires that He's giving you. And don't run from it. Remember, Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision and make it plain. So go ahead and write that down. Okay. I will talk to you guys next week. I am looking forward to having more and more episodes. We have a new episode come out every Wednesday. So make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss a thing. Before I let you go, I need to ask you something. How many episodes of the Activate Your Destiny podcast have you listened to? And how many times have you felt this pull, this knowing, this thing in your chest that says, it's time. And how many times have you closed the app and gone right back to your life exactly as it was? Mom school is for the mom who is doing just that, not the one who is almost ready, not the mom who is thinking about maybe, sort of, kind of, I might join next month. It is for the mom who knows that she is ready right now, who knows that what God has placed within her is far too important for her to keep ignoring it. Inside of Mom School, you get monthly coaching calls, quarterly goal setting, accountability partners, and a community of faith filled women who will not let you continue to shrink. And on top of all of that, you get me, a person that is going to constantly be in your corner, reminding you of what God said when you tried to forget yourself. The link to apply is in the description below. Not to browse, but to apply, because you have been listening far too long. You already know, and this is your next step. I cannot wait to see you in Mom School. And remember, the call on your life was not canceled. It's just waiting on you to be obedient.